Welcome to the Speak with Passion Masterclass. Now, before I start, let me ask you a question. Put a 1 in the chat if you like to improve your public speaking skills and become even better and more effective. Put a 2 in the chat if you not only want to improve your public speaking skills but also want to be a true inspiration to your audience. So, where are you now? Maybe when it comes to public speaking, you lack confidence, and this causes you to feel stressed, which means you try to avoid getting up in front of people, making yourself vulnerable, and only take on the opportunities you can't avoid. So one of the consequences is you're putting huge limitations on how you can advance in your career or in your personal life. Perhaps when you do have the opportunity to speak in public, you might get distracted by hindering thoughts and negative beliefs pulling you down, like, I'm an imposter to talk about this subject, or I'm not funny. What that means is instead of being your natural, confident self, you start to doubt if they are actually interested, and the effects of that is this horrible downward spiral when not only you lose confidence, but the audience loses faith in you as well. And your whole presentation falls apart. Potentially you're concerned, you sound monotonous, maybe you speak too fast, or you might even have judgments about the sound of your own voice. Or that your accent gets in the way. You're worried that people might get bored and will disconnect. Possibly you're anxious, you'll forget and have to use your notes. But this causes you to look at a piece of paper instead of keeping eye contact, which leads to not getting the engagement you need. So where do you want to be instead? Imagine people are giving you a standing ovation after your speech, thanking you, all lit up and grateful you inspire them, looking up to you as the expert. Picture yourself smiling, you are enjoying yourself throughout your presentation, jokes are flying from your mouth, and your audience is laughing with you. Visualize their faces responding to your amazing dynamic voice. They are involved and totally drawn into your story. New opportunities are lining up. People would love to work with you. Envisage, you stand with conviction, you feel relaxed, fully confident and in control. You're complimenting yourself. I couldn't have done better. So, if that's where you are now, and this is where you want to be, how are you going to get there? I believe that you'll get there by developing presentation skills awareness. And what do I mean by presentation skills awareness? That you can make sure you can deliver a keynote or formal presentation in a way that your audience is either entertained, informed, transformed in their thinking, or motivated to take action, to really get the engagement that you want. Now, why is this important? First, a Harvard Business Review of 2022, the leading management journal in the world, says, I quote, "The world's top business leaders study the art of writing, speaking and presenting and constantly strive to improve on those skills." The second reason why this is important, as an effective leader, you must be influential. Presentation skills are a key factor in that. To be able to communicate with impact, internal to your team, but also external to stakeholders or investors as well. So when you control the art of persuasion, this leads to commitment and builds trust. The best example would be Steve Jobs. Now, where would Apple be without his presentations? The third reason why it's important is, as a leader, you have to have charisma. And this comes from the ability to stand up in front of an audience with confidence. Whether you are talking to a small group or 1,000 people. The final reason that it is important to have presentation skills awareness, it enables you to present yourself as an authority in your field. As you show, you can talk effectively about issues that are important in your industry and organization. So why is this important now? In this time, more than ever, people want you to be personal, talking in a language they can believe in and trust. As with AI, people have become increasingly skeptical about what is deep fake or not. What they need now is to see and hear authenticity and real human beings. Secondly, these presentation skills are in demand around the world. The more senior you become in any organization, the more important it is for you to be able to present effectively with authority. And the big jobs are going to the ones who have developed those skills. Or if you have your own business, presenting yourself online, for example, you want to stand out amongst all the others as the expert they are looking for. The third point is, every day you don't develop your presentation skills, becoming the most engaging speaker, you're falling behind on the opportunity to move yourself and your career forward. Now, why should you listen to me? Before I tell you a story, there's this question I'd like to ask you. When you get up in the morning and get that first glimpse in the bathroom mirror, what do you say to yourself? Have you ever had a period in your life you thought, I'm not good enough? Let me take you back to the year 2003. Springtime, and I'm in Paradiso. It's this classical theatre known all over the world as the Pop Temple, where famous stars have been performing like Rolling Stones, Prince, Amy Winehouse, you name it. And I'm on that very same stage in the coloured spotlights. We're doing the opening act of the prestigious Future of Audiovisuals, and I'm here with 21 actors, singers, musicians, dancers, and there's about 500 people in the audience. We are dancing the samba. So there's a samba band on one side, but also a Dutch fanfare, which gives a strange kind of music, and they're dancing samba on clogs. But I'm on way too high heels with feathers on my back like wings, sweat dripping down my teeny-weeny Brazilian bikini. Oh my God, and I'm so nervous. I look up to the balcony. It's Mrs. Snow Queen, her grey eyes piercing right through me like she's pushing needles in my flesh. I'm her voodoo puppet. I feel like dying behind my fake smile. Oh gosh, but I keep on dancing the samba. Where are we? I'm a bit nervous because I've been producing this show, doing set, light and costume design, choreography, directing, and I forgot all about preparing for my own performance. So you can imagine I'm a bit stressed. Where are we? Yes, chorus line, everybody. Oh, dollar bills are coming out of the sky. That worked. Fake bills, of course, like snow. Okay, everybody, we're doing the can-can. Some of us can't get their legs up. After it, we bow, and there's a weak applause. Backstage, everybody is cheering. We made it! But the only thing I can see is Mrs. Snow Queen. It's Victoria, this big blonde woman in a too tight striped men's suit storming up to me. What do you think this was? Well, Victoria, as we said, I was It was about bridging cultures, the concept we spoke about. I don't give a shit about your silly story. This was nonsense. It didn't make any sense at all. You know, my reputation is at stake and yours as well, because I'm going to make sure that nobody else will hire you ever again. And off she goes, storming like a tornado. I feel like a crushed butterfly in her fist. Have you ever had a moment you wish the ground would open up and swallow you up? The next few months, I felt depressed, a total loser. Oh, why did I make it so hard for myself? One day, I tried to stand up from my couch and I collapsed. My legs were paralyzed. I crawled to the phone to call the doctor to find out it's a burnout. It took me a year to recover, and I withdrew in my comfort zone, only doing some small gigs here and there. And then I decide I want to make a CD, so a commercial CD to make more money. And I get this producer and we do my own songs like, who are you? Show me what you feel, what you got inside. But the thing is, it didn't feel like me at all. I felt empty, actually. And my pockets were empty too. 10,000 euro down the drain and no CD. So, after, I figured I had to do something else, but I didn't know what. And one day, it's summer, 22nd of July, 2004, and I get this call. It's Top Tours Agency. Hi, yes, that's me. If I want to do a workshop, Amsterdam slang, singing songs with an accordion. Yes, of course, no problem. So 1 week later, there I am at this restaurant on a city beach in Amsterdam with 200 people celebrating their business anniversary. It smells like French fries and barbecued sausages. And there he is, under a beach umbrella, with his bald head, sipping a Coke, puffing, having his accordion on his bulging belly. It's René, the one I'm going to do the workshop with. And after the workshop, René says, you know, Nadja, you have a real talent to work with groups. Did you see how they were laughing and enjoying themselves? Yes, I can feel this is a new opportunity for me. But after 1 year, I started to get bored, actually, because I didn't feel the connection to my passion, who I was anymore. I was on autopilot. I was doing it at this character, Auntie Shan. And she is this typical common lady that knows how to get people out of the comfort zone and is very direct. Come on, honey, you can do that, don't be shy. So, one day in the metro, it's 2005, I'm SMSing a friend. Hi, can't make it, have workshop Auntie Shan. And then, suddenly, her voice floods my head. You know, Nadja, you're not a common, ordinary entertainer. You have this skill. You're a coach. You can get people wherever you want. Let them open up. You should do something with it. Have you ever had an insight that gave you wings? Like anything is possible. So, the next few years weren't easy. I was facing lots of people that were saying, well, you're not good at making money, honey. just in making debts. And my papa, who's an artist, he said, "You should stick to singing only, dear. That's what you do best, and find another agent." "But Papa, I have no name." "Yes, of course you have a name. You're a filter, a real one, like I am, and I created you as a piece of art. So be an artist." But anyway, as I knew I had to do something with coaching, and I remembered Sean's voice in my mind, do something with it. But how? I didn't know. But I started to put my passion into it, more and more. And then, little by little, things started to change. I got calls from other agencies, and they wanted singing workshops, and the other wanted acting workshops. New clients were calling me, and all over the country I was traveling, and sometimes 3 times a day. And my income started to increase as well. I got more money than ever. And then what happened? I created my show, Vive Piaf, which we played 120 shows in total. And I got the first public prize in the Concours de la Chanson. And also the press called me the Piaf of the 21st century. And then my third win was my first entrepreneur coaching client. He was so afraid to stand in Stockholm on his first pitch for his new product. He was an entrepreneur, and it was called Water Pads, and he had to present for Rockefeller and Coca-Cola. But through my coaching and my modules that I started to create, he now got a $500,000 prize for his business. And today, I love nothing more than to help my clients going through the Speak with Passion pathway training. And I'm going to tell you more about it. But before I do, I'd like to go back to this original question. When you get up in the morning and you see yourself in the bathroom mirror, what do you say to yourself? Am I good enough? Well, let me leave you with this thought. You're always good enough if you find the truth and passion within. Come along with me on the Speak with Passion pathway. The first skill you have to learn is picturing. Now, what do I mean by picturing? You need to have pictures in your mind and also on the screen. But one of the problems I often see is keynote speakers rely on bullet points with words and numbers and don't use pictures at all. But if it's not appealing visually from the start, they are likely to lose the audience's interest quickly and don't win them back if nothing wakes their curiosity. When I take my clients through the powerful image instigator, what they learn is to visualize to get into emotional state and project images from their mind to really support and add value to what they're saying, without taking away the attention from them, of course. And when their audience is inspired and influenced, it becomes easier to make sense of what you're saying. Also, pictures can add humor to your presentation. The second skill is acting. And what do I mean by acting? It means you are conscious of yourself, what your actions are in this moment, knowing how to move and talk on stage, how to take your space and be present. A lot of speakers are not aware of their tone of voice, their tension in their face and body, and how they move, like walking up and down without reason, and how this affects their presence on stage and the engagement with the audience. When people work with me, the master performer method gives them tools to lift their energy, become more confident in their posture, and so they are in absolute control of all the aspects of how to communicate effectively on stage, which means getting the full attention of the audience to become more convincing and authentic. The third pillar skill is singing. And what do I mean by singing? It's developing the ability to use your voice so it maintains interest and connection with your audience. One of the problems I encounter is when a voice is not captivating, like someone is speaking in a monotonous manner or mumbling. What happens is people at some point will disconnect and stop listening. When I taught Andrea the choice of voice communicator skills, she was surprised she had such a wide range of tonality. She had been a lawyer for a long time, but never had liked the sound of her own voice, till now. Also, you'll develop vocal skills like pronunciation, so your audience can feel the importance of each point you're making. And with singing exercises, I help my clients to feel more freedom of expression. Words start flowing, making their speech exciting and fascinating. The fourth skill is storytelling. It's another very important professional skill. And what do I mean by storytelling? It's how you create a beginning, middle and end to your keynote speech or your presentation, so it becomes easy to follow you through. The mistake I see a lot of presenters make is they talk about facts and data only. It's likely your audience will make up their own story in their minds, but with the Rainbow Story Creator, you will learn how to weave data and facts into the story you want them to go away with. As you create an experience, something clients will recognize themselves in, and the message they will remember. The fifth pillar is improvising. What I mean by that is having the flexibility to be able to react to your audience and what they need in this moment. And when I say flexible, I mean responsive, to trust yourself. And that might be having to move away from the script that you have prepared. What I often see is presenters, they are not enjoying themselves and not totally free in their expression. And it looks uncomfortable, clumsy, static, or even stiff. And that leads to a lack of being able to relate to that person or wanting to work together. The flexible presenter formula enables you to find hidden talents you weren't aware of, like someone is naturally funny. And everybody has the ability to be flexible in this moment. Does this make sense? Let's see. Put a 1 in the chat box if it does. Great, thank you. So whether you are presenting to get new clients or to get the engagement of your employees, the ability to improvise and be flexible in this moment will help you to stretch the borders of your comfort zone, to enlarge it. So you'll feel comfortable any time and place. And it will help you build a better connection. So you'll ultimately get the result that you want. The sixth skill of the pathway is observing. And what do I mean by that? It's becoming much more self-aware of body language and what it is communicating. What I observe is many speakers are not aware of their body language at all. And they are sending out hidden unconscious signals, usually coming from anxiety around presenting, like scratching or using the same gesture all the time. When your body language is not congruent with your words, your audience will not believe what you're saying. And with the conscious body language builder, I teach my clients to find stance, gestures and movements that feel and look natural to build trust and confidence. The seventh and last pillar skill is nourishing. And what do I mean by nourishing? the body, we nourish the body well by breathing well to support the way we talk. And we tend to forget how vital our breath is, also for how well we get our message across. So when somebody is speaking with stress, breathing superficially, high up in the chest, as a listener you start to feel uncomfortable, maybe stressed as well. So with the effective breathwork elevator, you learn techniques to calm yourself down, and the more relaxed your breathing, the more authentic your voice sounds. The more control over your breath, the more impact you'll make. I don't have time to tell you about the whole program, but the first thing I'd like to dive into is the module storytelling. The Rainbow Story Creator. And here is the acronym RAINBOW with 7 steps: role play, acts, imagination, now, bridging, obstacles and writing. And let me focus on the now. And what do I mean by now? That means when you're in front of an audience, you are able to be fully present in this moment. And why is this important? You want people to really listen and understand what you're saying, right? So you don't want to be wandering off with your mind to this morning or later, or be distracted by anything, as this will be reflected in how your audience reacts. They are likely to be distracted too. This often happens unconsciously, like yawning, you know. The mistake I often see presenters make is they rush through their content and don't take time to pause. The consequence of that is the audience doesn't get the space to hear well and let the words land. What that means is they can't make a picture in their mind or think about what is said, you know, to connect it to their own experience. And what you get is a superficial level of one-way communicating. What you do want is engagement and impact, right? And therefore you need to take time and space to get your message across. Now, why do people rush? Potentially they believe there is no time to lose. We all have to do a lot of things, try to finish it quickly, and funny enough, even though we know it's not true that there is time, we often still act like there isn't. So if you recognize this, put a 1 in the chat box. It's embedded in our Western culture. I would say since 19th century, industrialization, difficult word. As machines started to produce faster and faster, it seems we took over this habit as a standard to do everything faster as well. A whole society is driven on speed, and I don't mean the drugs, though sometimes it looks like people are on it. Often we're not aware of how little time we give ourselves to do one task, you know, especially when you are your own boss. I know from experience, taking on as much tasks as possible in as little time as I could, leading to stress, which nowadays is kind of normal to have. Isn't that weird? I've had several burnouts and still have to tell myself to slow down each day. And here's the thing, the truth is we all have the time in the world. We have all the time in the world. It's up to us, depending on how we use it and fill it up. So we need to keep space in between and allow ourselves to relax. We desperately need to change that bad habit of not taking time to do things with attention. And we can, by simply becoming aware of how we're pushing ourselves forward and over the limit. By taking on too much work, for example, to focus on what's really important and what we love to do. We'd have so much more time to enjoy whatever it is that we love, you know. It's so much healthier, but also important to not take the heaviness of our work stress into our private life. I know all about that, as I said. The same applies to when you are on stage. You have to leave all your trouble behind and can create a feeling of unlimited time, timelessness even, when you do something with attention. When I move in slow motion, I'm actually stretching time. When you are really into something nice, for example, you forget about time, don't you? And it becomes endless when you're drawn into a story. Now, one day, I was locking my bike as quickly as I could, and it was a rainy day, November 2019, in Amsterdam, where I live. I parked my bike and didn't notice how slippery the street was, like ice. And before I knew it, I was up in the air and fell into the canal with bike and all. Luckily, I was saved by the neighbors. And in the ambulance that came right away, on a warm seat, the nurse told me, "You are lucky, as a few more minutes in the ice-cold water and your heart could have stopped beating." Undercooled as I was, oh my God, so why did this happen? I was running, my mind was so busy with my to-do list, I didn't notice the soft rain on my skin and feeling the ground beneath my feet, seeing the algae slippery. I learned my lesson all right and became aware it was the same lesson stamped in my head at acting school, which I didn't put into practice in my daily life. And I forgot all about it. Now listen well, and I hope you will remember, maybe write it down and use it as much as you can. And you'll be blessed if you can apply this golden rule to your personal life and in work as well. Write this down: to be in the moment. So, how do we get rid of that idea which isn't true in the first place, that there is no time to lose? We can win this over by just being present in the here and now. It sounds easier than it is. And how do we do that? Not get distracted by what is happening around you and inside your head. It's the wow, one, own method. You see, I played with the words, with the word now, turned it around. You can write these words down as a reminder. It's an exercise I'd like to do with you. Are you ready? Okay. At once, take a deep breath through your mouth, like that. And that's what I call the wow in the now. Like a child seeing fireworks for the very first time. Wow! And if you do this while preparing your speech, before each sentence you speak out loud, you'll find you discover the thought again at that moment. You open yourself up with curiosity and surprise, as if it's the first time you have that idea or speak those words. And it is the first time, as every moment is new and different. Then the second step, when you get into this wow state, there is no right or wrong, and any obstacle or distraction will be easy peasy to overcome, as you feel like a winner who already won before playing the game. And then the last step is own. You listen to your own words while you speak, without judging or criticizing yourself, giving every word time and space in between. And then it becomes magic with more depth. And then you own your time and space, and people hearing you will believe, now there's a wise person who knows what she's talking about. You get the picture. Are you with me? Great. Now let's move on. If you enjoyed this so far, you might be interested in hearing more about the program, what it is and how it works. So if it's okay with you, I'd like to take a couple of minutes to tell you all about the training, and then we'll move on with the masterclass. So I'd like to invite you to the Speak with Passion Pathway 3-day live training. So it's 3 half days, 4 hours, 12 hours in total. It's all about presentation skills, with playful exercises, easy and fun to do. Breath and voice work. We'll be learning singing, acting and storytelling. And body language is a very important module, which is about posture and gestures, to become fully aware of what you are communicating non-verbally. We will work in small groups, receiving feedback from each other and from me of course, to implement and improve what you learn in your presentation right away. You will also learn a very effective and positive way to give feedback whenever you need it in your work situation. So you'll build better relationships with trust. The training is customized, so I will be listening to your needs to give you exactly what you want. You can choose your location, whether that's a nice castle or your own office, or I can help you finding a more suitable place. And you can choose the dates of 3 days weekly in a row or each month. Now, who is this program for? This is for you if you like to improve your presentation and public speaking skills. This is also for you if you like to challenge yourself to, or your team, to take risks and explore creative ways of expression and want to enlarge your comfort zone. Because I believe as you step out of it and then enlarge it, you take it wherever you go. So this is for you if you want to be able to stand on stage with presence and authority and deliver your message with authenticity and passion and impact. This is not for you if you are happy staying small in your career and are not willing to step out of your comfort zone. This isn't for you if you can't take feedback that is going to help you to grow personally and in your business. But it is for you if you like interactive and experiential learning and not just by theory. And if you are one of those rare people that understand that personal growth and power starts with self-awareness. Let me tell you why what you'll experience is completely unique. Because this program is designed for you to bring your uniqueness out. This training is based on all the tools I collected over my 27 years of professional expertise and experience as a performer, a workshop leader, and a private coach. I did my first concert when I was 10. Here I am playing the harp. And the training to become a professional singer and actress began when I was 13 with private lessons. Then I studied and graduated at the Actors Studio, Het Collectief, in Amsterdam in 1997. I did a lot of workshops in voice and breath work, non-verbal communication, body work like mime, yoga, all kinds of dance training. And I have been studying human behavior. Why do people do what they do? I've been performing on more than 1,800 stages in Holland and abroad. I won the prestigious Public Prize in the Concours de la Chanson Alliance Française, doing Edith Piaf songs, where I was singing in front of 500 people. I wrote my own and produced and sang and performed and sold my musical theatre shows and songs. And since 2003, I've given workshops to companies all over the country.
At the end of the square, there was the GOEM, the warehouse, and there were massive floodlights on it, and they were shining on the Kremlin. And that was so incredibly beautiful.
This one, the neutral one, and this one, the
maybe
the,
a little bit of hand
yes.
movements, because
Yeah.
there's everybody's eyes.
Now here are some of my testimonials from clients that I got, like Alice. Different areas of colleagues came together and the singing made them more relaxed and free in their expression. Aad Kuiper, CEO from Hunter Douglas Group, says, Nadja provides an immaculate, cheerful, educational workshop with lots of laughter. The ice was quickly broken and the mood was good, and of course it became fun. She also managed to connect different ages with knowledge, skill and humor. Over the years, I have delivered more than 500 workshops to 12,000 people and satisfied clients like this. And also did private coaching. So here's my client Michiel Ummels. He's a business owner, ambassador and speaker at the Lions Club about sustainability. And he said, I recently had the opportunity to do the one-to-one sessions with Nadja, an inspiring way to work. It really helped me to present more confidently, groundedly, and effectively. Nadja really adds a lot of value with her artistic talent and practical approach. The lessons I learned in my study and career, I brought together and applied especially for the business environment. So you can take the essential aspects from all the training and the performance by easy to learn and simple exercises. You learn to implement effectively, doing body language, discover the power of your voice, stand and deliver with passion, confidence and impact, and connect to your authenticity. And today, I will be making a very special opportunity for the first 10 people that will join the Speak with Passion pathway. So stick with me as you don't want to miss that discount. If you'd like to know more, just put your number in the chat and book a call to receive more information. Now I'd like to dive in one of the modules of the Speak with Passion pathway. And the pillar I'll be taking you through today is singing. Now, what do I mean by singing? It's not just singing aloud, it's stretching your voice ability as an instrument, an effective tool to get your message across. In this module, there are 5 key steps in learning to bring the skill of singing into your delivery. The first step is plant. That's about planting your feet, grounding. The second is primal, is about making primal sounds to let go of your controlling mind. The third is projection, how you reach your audience with your words. The fourth is pitch, using your voice tonality. And the fifth, the last one, is pop-up. And this last one I'll be taking you through now. So what do I mean by pop-up? It's about how to get yourself into a positive frame of mind if you're feeling nervous about any presentation in any situation. Because if you aren't feeling confident and are not in a positive mood, this will communicate itself to your audience immediately. A pop-up is a song or an image or a story connected to a special moment that you can use, that is going to get you into a really positive state of mind. So you can deliver your presentation with a high level of confidence. And before I explain you how this exercise works, I'd like to go into the problem I often see with presenters. They are not prepared. And what do I mean by that? They probably know what they're going to talk about, but they forget to get into the right emotional state, which is a happy one. And it's obvious they're not enjoying themselves. The effect of that is the audience won't be enjoying either. And this horrible downward spiral is created where the presenter loses confidence and the audience as well. What to do if you don't see yourself as a confident speaker? If the belief underneath is, I am not a capable person, you first become aware of your thought and change it into I am a capable person, which connects to I can do anything, even if you don't believe it yet. And this is where the pop-up song, story, movie or picture comes in. You hear it, hum it, and become happy. You might want to write these words down. Now, how does this work? You might remember in my advert I talk about the time travel switch. Have you seen it? Put in a 3 in the chat if you did, I'm just curious. So this is connected to that. You think of that special memory, go back in time and place. What can you remember? The more specific the better, and use all your senses. I will take you to my pop-up song. Indeed, the most happy day of my life. My wedding day. The sounds I heard, all my friends and family talking, laughing, and the sensations I felt in my body. I was so excited. And it was a hot summer's day. The smells and the taste of the food. What I saw, the location and the colors, my dress, and then I hear this song. A brand new day from The Wiz. And my man and I are going through this pathway. I'm holding his hand, rose petals are falling in rice. And then we all burst out singing. Can't you feel the brand new day? Can't you feel the brand new day? And right now, I feel the excitement in my body again. I can imagine when you are in the presentation room and the audience is there and you're being introduced, you can't sing or hum out loud. So just hum it in your head. I'd like you to go to your specific picture, like a holiday or memory of your wedding or a moment with your lover, like your first date, when you heard this wonderful song or a movie you love. Now take a moment and breathe. And when this pops up, what do you remember? What smells? What did you see? The sounds? What you felt in your body? Okay. Maybe you can think of one sentence of this song or a word that comes up when you think about that special moment to anchor it in your mind. And whenever you need it, just think of this one sentence or word and you sing, hum, or hear it inside. For instance, happiness. And you might not have a song or feeling yet, but now you know how it's done. You can practice it. I use this technique a lot, like when I had to perform in Brighton Fringe Festival in 2015. The first time I did my Edith Piaf show in English, which had to be my international breakthrough. I was so nervous. And I'm backstage, behind the curtain. And yesterday I had no voice and fever. My curls didn't work out. And oh shit, mud on my shoes. 1 minute before showtime, I think about my parasailing experience in Mexico. I hear the mariachi song on the beach. Baila conmigo y te canta, mujer. And now I'm sitting in a swing 700 meters high in the sky. I see the tiny speedboat down below, feeling free like a bird in my bikini. My skin is even warm here. Okay, back in the now. I take a deep breath, feeling fully confident. And off I go on stage, singing like the bird Piaf, which means sparrow. And we got a wonderful press review in the Brighton Broadway Baby.